Good evening. This is Eyewitness News. The largest steamboat in the nation is stuck on the Ohio River. An all-day-long effort to move the American Queen from a sandbar near Troy in Spencer County has so far failed. The 418-foot-long American Queen cruised by Evansville yesterday on its inaugural cruise. Ahead of schedule, it stopped at 2 this morning for a break. 3 hours later, when it tried to move on, the river level had dropped and the Queen was stuck. Ever since then, the two towboats have been trying to set her and her 285 passengers free. Depending on when the American Queen is set free, a spokeswoman on board says she may be able to make up the lost time.
The Ohio River, it is the world's biggest river steamboat.
But these folks have been stranded for over a day now, so we went on board to see how they were doing.
Enjoyable. Yeah. I mean, why not? Why get all shook up about something that's not under anybody's control?
Oh, I thought it was fun. And I wasn't going to give up one more day of steamboating, so we're going to stay on until the last.
Earlier in the day, barges took some of the passengers' luggage on shore, while the captives stuck on board continued to have fun.
What have you guys been doing to pass the time away?
Backgammon. Sitting and rocking and playing backgammon. Isn't that what everybody does?
What do you guys been doing to kill the time, pass the time?
Drinking, partying, listening to good music.
As for local folks like Don and Greg cruising next to this enormous steamboat, this was like no other day they'd ever had on the Ohio.
Well, it's the most exciting thing that's ever happened around here, I'll tell you. Huge. It's supposed to be the biggest one on the waterways, I guess.
So as we pull away from the Queen with a fond farewell, one of the passengers summed up the trip best.
You know, before the landing, I guess you could call it, it was great. And after the landing, they've really taken care of us. Nobody's been uncomfortable, you know. They tried their best to get it off, and it's ended on a good note.
From Troy, Indiana, with photographer Eric Thompson, Scott Eckhart, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Now, if you're wondering just how big this boat really is, it's as long as 1.5 football fields. It can carry 436 passengers, and one of the main attractions on this enormous boat is its paddle wheel. It alone weighs 60 tons, and it's 30 feet wide. The grand total for the American Queen was $65 million. Early reports out tonight suggest the accident did not do any damage to the boat.
In fact, the biggest steamboat around has been stuck on a sandbar since Sunday. And now crews are using heavy equipment to free the Queen, as you see live from Sky 11 tonight. Some of the machinery came from right here in Kentuckiana. Our Chuck Olmstead spent the day on the local barge that is trying to get the riverboat back on its way.
With only the captain and crew left aboard, the struggle to free the stuck paddle wheeler got underway in earnest just offshore today. The job of the McBride towing fleet: free the 418-foot paddle wheeler any way you can.
It ranges anywhere from 5 to 15 feet in this area right now, and we're trying to get that leveled out to a more even grade, so when we do start out with the boat, pull it out here, it doesn't hang up on us again.
The strategy, a three-prong attack. It's a slow, laborious process on one side, a crane with a clam digger methodically scooping up part of the river bottom to make a partial channel. While here aboard the McBride tow the transporter, we inch within 100 feet of the stricken American Queen, and then the 12-foot dredge goes to work, repeatedly scraping the bottom, while at the back of the boat, a suction dredge spewing out sand and chunks of rock like this that entrap the paddle wheeler. The big day tomorrow, that's when they expect to have cleared away enough rock and sand from around the American Queen. Then the McBride fleet will ask the Corps of Engineers to open up nearby Cannelton Dam and send hundreds of millions of gallons of water this way, enough to hopefully finally free the giant paddle wheeler. That to happen sometime tomorrow afternoon. Near Troy, Indiana, Chuck Olmstead, Kentuckiana's News Channel, WHAS 11.
And these days, the American Queen isn't just a big boat stuck on the Ohio River. It's become a major tourist attraction. Chris Turner is up in Sky 11 looking down on the Queen right now and has more on this newest attraction for Kentucky and southern Indiana. Chris?
Melissa, it looks now that it's going to be a fourth day stuck in the sand of the Ohio River. Across from Troy, Indiana, the Kentucky Shore area is close to Hawesville, Kentucky, and close to Lewisport. Again, it may be tomorrow before this big boat gets moving again. But the delays in the water bring opportunities for the locals on shore, eager to watch the spectacle on the Ohio. Folks have brought cameras and binoculars for closer looks at a boat that's pretty much empty now, save for the crew. It's perhaps the biggest thing ever to happen to Troy, Indiana, many folks say. And as the boats on the water keep dredging, the curious keep watching.
A lot of the times, a $65 million boat doesn't just get stopped in the middle of the Ohio River, so it's pretty significant. I don't think anything like this has ever happened before.
You look out there now. Tell me what you see.
See a big boat that's still stuck out there. A lot of trouble to a lot of people.
Now, one person says that the festive atmosphere has moved from the boat where all the passengers had an open bar on Sunday and Monday. It's now moved to the shore up at Troy, Indiana. Folks even are selling T-shirts and sodas to a lot of the thirsty spectators and thirsty reporters there, keeping tabs on the boat. Back to you.
And it's great publicity for the American Queen, too, Chris. Thank you very much.
Morning to begin shoveling sand away from the base of the boat. The Coast Guard hopes the boat will become dislodged and be on its way by early tomorrow. The boat got stuck after it stopped for a photo shoot Sunday. Meanwhile, onlookers from all over continue to come in carloads for this memorable sight. Scott Eckhart tells us all about that.
As the American Queen sits helpless in the sand for her third day, the novelty of her sight continues to leave hundreds of onlookers spellbound.
$65 million toy here stuck in the sand. So a little big city of Troy, this is a big thing.
A lot of them, and I can understand why I wouldn't want to be parked over there for 3 or 4 days.
Carload after carload keep pouring in. Folks with their cameras, binoculars, and video cameras jostle for position to get the best spot for that perfect view.
I've never seen a boat stuck on the river before. Read about it in the paper. A friend called me this morning and said, "You want to go see it?" So we decided to drive over here and look at it.
But not everybody is out here to see the Queen. In fact, one lady didn't even care it was stuck.
Sitting out here while you're so awestruck about this boat.
I'm not.
You're not?
The flowers down the road were prettier.
Watching the news media go by.
Yeah, right, watching the news media.
So as the digging continues, folks from all around keep coming to this small town of Troy to get a glimpse, to take a picture, and to say they saw the world's largest steamboat stuck in the sand. In Troy, Indiana, Scott Eckhart, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Scott says at one point this afternoon there were more than 100 onlookers gazing at the Queen from that one little bank.
Well, on for the past 4 days, but those high hopes have also been grounded. The News Channel's Ann Doyle joins us live from Troy, Indiana to tell us what the problem is. Ann?
Oh, Julie, what a disappointment. You know, we were standing right here for Good Morning Kentuckiana just a few hours ago, and at that point it seemed just about now would be the time that the American Queen would be about ready to push off, that they'd be able to get her off of that sandbar, but no go. It looks like it's going to be, well, not anytime soon. Let me tell you, first of all, the bad news came that the river level has dropped about a foot since yesterday, and on top of that, you know that dam upriver where they're supposed to release all that water to help? Well, there's not enough water to go around there either. All that bad news after a day with a promising start.
With the sunrise shines hope that this will be the day, and the faithful want to watch it all. Before 7 o'clock, dredges are back at it. You can see them from the Indiana shoreline. But by 8:30, word spreads that there's trouble.
I'd say it's pretty serious. It's not getting any better.
The river's fallen overnight. Very bad news. And what about those plans to release millions of gallons of water from the Cannelton Dam in hopes of floating the paddle wheeler? Well, those plans are apparently off, at least for now.
Today, you know, we've lost that. You're aware of that the river's falling, so that whatever comfort we could have given them, that could have been, you know, we've lost that edge. So, and this time of the year, you know, we just don't have that much water.
While those on board the American Queen regroup with dredging crews and draw up a new plan, the shoreline attracts new spectators from all over.
We went to Holiday Worlds yesterday, and then we came here today.
We are coming from Cincinnati. We're from Colorado. So we just swung down this way to see this boat because we've been watching from Cincinnati for 2 days about how it was stuck.
Well, it is still stuck today, and it looks like the bottom line is it's not going to be unstuck anytime soon. Julie, bottom line is they're not making any promises, any guesses as to when the American Queen is going to be set free from that sandbar. The only thing they're promising is to do a little bit of a rain dance because they do need more water.
I'm sure that would help, but Ann, is water the only problem they're facing?
No, they had a problem overnight as well. The dredging crew lost a dredge. It went underwater. They have recovered that, put it on a barge and towed it away. However, now they're looking for more dredging equipment, perhaps bigger dredges. They have a huge job ahead of them here, and they say they need more equipment before they're going to make the headway needed to get her on her merry way.
All right, thank you very much, Ann Doyle, for that update live from Troy, Indiana this afternoon.
The attempt to free the boat has failed. The American Queen's load's been lightened, the area around the boat's been dredged, and the locks downriver at Newburgh were closed in the hopes of raising the river level. This morning, the gates at the Cannelton Dam upriver are opening, allowing more water downstream where the giant paddle wheeler sits, which may get the Queen floating again.
She has not left her perch yet. A sandbar in the Ohio near Hawesville, Kentucky still holds her hostage. But tonight, the Army Corps of Engineers is ready to try a new remedy. Chuck Olmsted joins us live from one of the barges trying to free the boat. Chuck, what are they going to do now?
Well, they're going to make a go of it, and we'll tell you more about that in a minute. At first, let's look in the rain here at some of the tugs that are right outside the American Queen. Day 4 for this giant paddle wheeler being stuck and stranded. Will there be a day 5? They hope not. It didn't start off well, though. A suction device actually sinking earlier today before being recovered, and more bad news continued in the past few hours. Even as crew members aboard the transporter kept scraping more river bottom from around the hull, 2 bits of bad news came. The river has dropped another inch since yesterday, and the nearby Cannelton Lock and Dam now says it only has enough water to add an inch to the water level in the area. Not enough to help the giant paddle wheeler float free on its own. So the only thing left, dig deeper.
How far down are they on the vessel itself? Down? How much farther they got to go, in other words?
They're not even hardly around the round part of the bow right now.
Oh, okay. All right. How far up on the lower end did they get?
Maybe just above the paddle wheeler. I dredged that far yesterday.
So right now, here's the game plan. Bring in a second big tow. Hook steel wires to the back, the stern of the American Queen, and with some 10,000 horsepower between the 2 boats, pull it out rear end first in the deeper water, timing the pull so it happens just when water from the dam is being released. There's a danger, though. The $65 million ship's hull could be torn off, despite an earlier stress test indicating it could take it. Such an incident could be disastrous. The boat could take on water. Right now, the ship line and the Coast Guard have yet to decide. Meanwhile, back live aboard the transporter, the decision has been made. They're going to make a go at trying to pull the American Queen. It could happen in the next half hour. We'll tell you more tonight at 6. Chuck Olmsted, Kentucky News Channel WHAS 11.
All right, thank you very much, Chuck.
To try to pull the boat out of the sand, and it's been stranded there for several days. Pulling now.
I know.
I don't see any movement,
If
however.
they can do it, imagine it on the resume of the McBride fleet. We're the ones who freed
the American
Queen. Well, we're going to keep you updated as you see there, but first we want to move on. In recent years, the News Channel has followed the Kentucky Air National Guard. Pulling and one is pushing, and Melissa, there's been some movement, we are told.
Very little, in, what'd you say, 20 feet? And
that's what we were told.
In 4 days. So we will have an update on the American Queen, of course, tonight at 11 o'clock, and let you know if the McBride fleet is successful in
the local heroes
trying to get the American Queen off that sand at Hawes.
Boat from what's been its parking space since Sunday. Early reports say the boat has moved several feet, but is still stuck. Efforts to dig the boat out came to a standstill early this morning when one of the shovels sank in the river. It was recovered, but digging was stopped. Another problem is the river continues to drop. In the last 24 hours, it has dropped more than a foot.
Despite days of frustration, American Queen officials felt tonight would be the night. The crowd, which continued to line the riverbank in Troy, Indiana, wasn't so sure, though.
It seems like the locals know that over there is and that site is very shallow.
Yes. We thought most riverboat captains would too.
So you're a little surprised they pulled over there to begin with?
Yes, very.
Do you think they're ever going to get off?
Yes, somehow. They may have to take it apart piece by piece.
That's right. We're keep going. Just keep going. Keep pulling that stern out till it aims to that dock. Good job, transporter.
An armada of 4 towboats moved the Queen a bit about 7 tonight before it bogged down again. Then a passing tow, the Ingle, was asked to dock its coal barges and help out. And the big guy made the difference.
Keep still going. Keep still going. All right, everybody keep backing. Keep backing.
The Queen's Calliope blasted its thanks to local crews who worked so hard to free her, and free gift shop hats were promised to all who helped. Even once she was free, the American Queen was going nowhere fast. Crew members had to check out all the systems, and they had to inspect the bottom for damage before she could assume full power. The crowd cheered as the boat pulled into Troy for fuel and supplies, but people were a little sad too. This tiny town hasn't seen this much excitement in eons.
Oh, I'm just tickled to death that they got it out.
What are you going to do for entertainment now, though?
Well, hopefully we'll all get back to normal again.
Back to reruns or something?
Yes.
Troy, Indiana, Dick Irby, the news at 10.
Aboard the towboats, they knew they might not have another chance like this, not with the river still dropping. It was time to make the engines roar. For nearly 20 minutes, the transporter, as well as 3 other tows, have been pulling, using their thousands of horsepower in hopes of freeing the American Queen. After more than an hour, the 418-foot boat finally budged.
Didn't think it'd ever come off today. I tell you what, it was a good sight seeing that thing come off that bar.
And on the shore of Troy, Indiana, more than 500 people greeted the freed boat.
She's really pretty. It only takes 9 feet of water to float her. So.
You'd be surprised how hard it was to get her floating.
We was kind of hoping they'd leave it here and make a gambling boat out of it. We've been wanting that down here anyway, you know. We was kind of hoping they wouldn't get it off.
In Troy, Indiana, Chuck Olmsted, Kentuckiana's News Channel, WHAS 11.
Now, the American Queen is staying in Troy, Indiana for the rest of this night. The American Bureau of Shipping says the Queen will dock here in Louisville. Exactly when, though, we're not sure. However, it will need to be inspected to make sure it's seaworthy. Tomorrow, we'll finally know the fate of the Naval Ordnance Station. The Base Closure Commission is set to make its recommendation up the river. It is now in Portland. There is the American Queen. It has been freed from its beaching on the sandbar, and I think we have Patty Young, who is on the Queen with the staff of the American Queen. Patty, can you hear me?
Gene, I can hear you fine.
Hi there.
Hi.
Well, what was it like? Did you guys have any idea that you would have such a problem?
Well, of course not. Of course not. But we've had we've had a beautiful day today cruising the Ohio. I wish the people who were our passengers on board who did get off had been able to see how beautiful this part of the river is. I have never seen it before, and I've been with the company for 12 years, and I just found it breathtaking. We've had a glorious day, and we're entering the lock right now. The lock master just sort of bowed and waved us in. They waved the Queen in, and they're waving at us, and we're slowly approaching the lock. And it looks like there's thousands of people out here, really.
Are there people out there, Patty? I was going to ask you that. Where are they? On the banks out there?
Well, there's people on the banks, but mostly they're further up on the lock, and since we're down, we're lower, we're going to be raised up, and once we get raised up, we'll see how many there are, and we'll see the people who have come to the lock.
Now, you all are not stopping here in Louisville. You're just going to pass on by, right?
Yeah, sorry. Well, we've got to
How
get
long
to
is it going to, well, we've had, Patty, we have had tons of people calling the newsroom asking when you guys are going to be here and how long it's going to take you to pass through, just in case folks want to get in their cars and run down there. How long is it going to take for you guys to raise and then pass downtown Louisville, past Louisville?
I would say that it takes us at least 45 minutes to lock through, and I would say we'll probably be here about an hour, and we're traveling at a clip of about 8 to 10 miles an hour. So there should be plenty of opportunity for the people of the Louisville area to come down to the river to see this boat in the next couple of hours.
Well, now you are going to be making another pass through here soon, aren't you?
Yes, on the 1st of July, on a Saturday, we'll be here, and it will be on her inaugural cruise with her passengers. And it's a 16-night cruise from Pittsburgh all the way to New Orleans, and we're retracing the route of the first steamboat down the river back in 1811. The New Orleans went down in about 3.5 months. We're taking 16 nights.
Oh, my goodness. Well, we do see some people standing out there to wave you all on, and good luck on your journey, and we hope to see you on your way back when you come back through here.
I'll see you July 1st. Thank you,
Okay,
Jean.
thank you, Patty.
Okay,
good luck.
bye.
Bye-bye.